My arranged marriage wife was frigid in bed as she tossed me a hormone test report. She also gave me a beautiful, shapely woman. I cannot satisfy you, but you do not have to deny yourself. My eyes went wide in shock. Wait, is this really okay? It was not until I read the floating comments before me that I learned by Ningbing's coldness was only an excuse to stay chaste for the love of her life. The female lead is too kind. She actually considered the male side character's needs. Who knew she was keeping a future disaster around? Later, this worthless male side character learns the female lead only faked being frigid. Then he seduces her every day and makes Tang misunderstand. The female lead spends more than half the story chasing her husband. Still, when I thought of how the female lead would eventually destroy the male side character's family, leaving him to die in a car crash, I decided it was no big deal. I dug my nails into my palm and accepted the woman by Ningbing sent without hesitation. A woman only needs to be beautiful. It was not as if I had to have by Ningbing. Only an idiot would get between her and her true love. Later, at a banquet, to show I had no improper intentions, I deliberately went to toast by Ningbing. That woman you found me is truly wonderful. Now I can barely look at anyone else. I thought by Ningbing would be reassured. Fang Yuan, she is the personal housekeeper I assigned to you. Actually, it was not my first time seeing the floating comments. The first time I saw them was after rejecting the old masters, 83 utterly unsuitable, unattractive marriage candidates, and meeting the 84th candidate, by Ningbing. The instant I saw by Ningbing's face, it felt like my eyes had been cleansed. Unable to hold it in, I howled that I would marry no one but her. But as by Ningbing looked my way, floating comments began appearing before my eyes. Oh no. The worthless male side character, Fang Yuan, has appeared. My god, he actually fell for the female lead at first sight. This is where it begins, where he starts relentlessly pursuing the female lead, right? I feel so bad for my Tang. He and the female lead love each other so much, but cannot be together sooner because of the male side character. I stared uneasily at the comments before me, completely ignoring by Ningbing's probing gaze. After that, I saw the floating comments several more times. Every time, it was when by Ningbing appeared with Wang Dateng, the student the Wen family sponsored. Only then could I see them. The comments always called me an eyesore, a stumbling block between by Ningbing and Wang Dateng, but I did not care. Instead, I caught one crucial detail. By Ningbing would become the most powerful figure in business, the kind who could control everything. That only strengthened my resolve to marry her, binding the Fang and by family businesses together. After staring at the comments for too long, by Ningbing mistook it for me staring at her. To save herself for Wang Dateng and crush my improper hopes, she actually, at our wedding, handed me a medical report saying her hormones were low and she was sexually frigid. She even gave me a beautiful woman. Since she had given her to me, I had no reason to refuse. So the beauty, then I went at it day and night. She was incredibly clingy, and I nearly missed my scheduled appointments many times. When I went to an auction, supporting my aching back, the moment I entered, I saw by Ningbing and Wang Dateng. It was the first time I had seen by Ningbing since our wedding. She was linking arms with Wang Dateng as they climbed the steps. Love was practically spilling from her eyes. The male side character's eyes are practically glued to the female lead. He must be plotting something. Seriously, does he have no shame? The female lead already has Tang. I quickly looked away, but by Ningbing was already looking at me. If your back hurts, you do not need to force yourself to attend. Before I could answer, Wang Dateng's face suddenly turned cold. So, upon learning that the auction featured an item resembling my mother's heirloom, he immediately took by Ningbing's hand and said, "By Ningbing, I really love that jade pendant. It is so beautiful." His voice was so tender it could melt anyone's heart. By Ningbing glanced at me, then, without hesitation, placed an unlimited bid that no one could top. Seeing that, Wang Dateng shot me a smug glance. Haha. The male side character must be dying of jealousy. Even if the male side character stole the role of the female lead's husband, he cannot steal her love. But he is stunned now. I simply put away my bidding paddle without a care. By Ningbing clearly had not expected that reaction. After a brief pause, she could not help asking, "Does that jade pendant not look like your mother's heirloom? You are not bidding?" I shook my head. It does look similar, but Mr. Wang likes it. I cannot exactly compete with him for it. At that, by Ningbing and the comments both fell silent. A few seconds later, the comments began flooding in with question marks again. What is wrong with the male side character? He is actually being so kind. Replying above, I do not think the male side character is being kind. He loves the female lead too much to make things difficult for her. That is why he will not compete with Tang. Does he love her that much? He will even give up his mother's heirloom. This time, I was the one left speechless. Could it not be because I already have my mother's heirloom? So I do not need an auction item, that merely resembles it. I was simply doing him a favor, so Bai Ningbing would appreciate our family's partnership more. I never imagined the comments would misunderstand so badly, but Bai Ningbing was the head of a major corporation. Surely she would not misunderstand, right? Though I thought so. To prevent Bai Ningbing from thinking, I was trying to get between her and Wang Dateng. I stood to leave as soon as the auction ended. Just as I reached the door, Bai Ningbing suddenly called out to me, "Fang Yuan, wait." I turned and saw her hold out a business card. "Thank you for not competing with Tang for the jade pendant today. As thanks, I had a bed custom made for you. It is good for your back. Call the number on the card, and they will deliver it to your home." I looked at the business card and thought of the clingy beauty, Shang Xinci. I became even more speechless. What was wrong with Bai Ningbing? Giving her legal husband another woman was one thing, but now she had even custom-made a bed for me. Was it so I could sleep with other women more comfortably? No one could match that level of generosity. With a sigh, I accepted the card. But when the bed arrived, Shang Xinci learned Bai Ningbing had sent it, and her expression changed. She looked like an angry cat. Bai Ningbing certainly was generous. Then, I was forced to cancel the company's morning meetings for 3 straight days. The next news I had of Bai Ningbing was her mother calling me to dinner at the Yuan family estate. Since our family's partnership was still progressing, and I could not disrespect an elder, I found time to go. To my surprise, when Madame Yuan saw I had come alone, without Bai Ningbing, her face darkened, and she pointed at my nose as she scolded me. "I only approved your marriage to Ningbing because I heard you adored her and would marry no one else. I thought you could win Ningbing over with love and stop her from seeing that poor Wang boy. I did not expect you to be so useless. It is bad enough that you could not outbid that Wang boy at the auction, but you cannot even get Ningbing to come home with you. What use are you as my son-in-law? Call Ningbing right now and tell her to come back immediately. Otherwise, do not bother coming through this door." With that, she slammed the door in my face. I stood outside, completely unbothered. I never liked the atmosphere at the Yuan family estate anyway, and I certainly did not want to disturb Bai Ningbing and Wang Dateng. If one call from me caused a minor fight between them, and Bai Ningbing took it out on me, damaging our family's partnership would be the real problem. And if she thought I was trying to get her attention again, trying to get between her and Wang Dateng, then, just as the comments predicted, she might ruin my family and leave me dead in a car crash. That would be an even worse loss. Without another thought, I turned and left. When I got home, Shang Xinci was unexpectedly gone. I called her, and she answered instantly. Shang Xinci's voice came through the phone with unmistakable jealousy. "I thought you would be at the Yuan family estate today, playing the loving couple with Bai Ningbing." The moment I heard loving couple, I saw the fate the comments had predicted for me. Goosebumps rose all over me. "Do not say those words. Bai Ningbing and I are nothing like that." On the other end of the call, Shang Xinci gave a light laugh. Her tone changed completely. "I understand. Did you call to ask when I am coming back? I will be right back." And true to her word, Shang Xinci arrived 10 minutes later. She seemed to be in an excellent mood. We spent the whole night at it. So, when I got up the next morning, I was so exhausted that even my eyes were swollen. Shang Xinci had gone off somewhere again. Just as I was about to call her, the doorbell rang. Thinking it was Shang Xinci, I opened the door without a second thought, but it was Bai Ningbing. Before we married, I had given Bai Ningbing the address of our marital home, but she had never set foot here before. Today was her first time. When the door opened, Bai Ningbing's gaze immediately fell on my red, swollen eyes. She frowned slightly. The comments began rolling into, what happened to the male side character? Why are his eyes so swollen? Did the female lead's mother not call him to the Yuan family estate last night? Her mother must have given him a hard time. He must have been upset all night. Even Bai Ningbing seemed to think so. Her voice was much gentler than usual as she asked me, "Did my mother give you trouble yesterday? Why did you not call me?" I paused, then waved it off. "It was nothing. Besides, weren't you with Mr. Wang? I did not want to disturb you." The moment I said that, Bai Ningbing and the comments fell silent again. A few seconds later, the comments exploded. "Oh my god, even when the female lead's mother mistreats him, he still will not disturb the female lead. The male side character loves her far too much, right? His love is practically moving me to tears." I looked at those comments, utterly at a loss for words. I thought Bai Ningbing would leave soon, but after a long silence, she suddenly told me she would stay at our marital home for a while. Not in the same room as me, of course, but it still felt awkward. Having someone unfamiliar in the house was awkward, and not being able to hold Shang Xinci while I slept was awkward too. I messaged Shang Xinci, asking her to come back and keep me company. After all, Bai Ningbing had personally given her to me. It should not matter if she appeared in front of Bai Ningbing. But after Shang Xinci saw the message, she became furious. "Fang Yuan, I have already compromised so much for you. Do you have to deliberately humiliate me?" After that, no matter how many messages I sent or calls I made, she never replied again. I was completely baffled. What on earth was Shang Xinci so angry about? I could not figure it out. So when I had a chance to discuss business with my best friend, Xiaohuohuo. I dragged him to a bar after the meeting to seek his advice, but I got no advice, and instead spotted Wang Dateng drowning his sorrows in a corner. He sat there alone, several empty bottles before him, his cheeks flushed red. He looked utterly desolate, considering Bai Ningbing had suddenly moved into our marital home. How could I not understand? Those two had clearly had a fight. I had not wanted to get involved. The fewer problems, the better. But just as I was about to enter the private room, I saw two sketchy-looking thugs suddenly start harassing Wang Dateng. Their fists were about to come down on him. I had not wanted to interfere, but Wang Dateng was drunk out of his mind. There was no way he could fight back. With a sigh, I could not help myself after all. I stepped forward and stood in front of Wang Dateng. Get lost. He is my friend. If something happened to Wang Dateng, and Bai Ningbing found out I had been there, but done nothing, she would probably be unhappy with me. That could affect our family's partnership. Worse still, it might hasten the ending, where my family is destroyed and I die in a car crash. I could not gamble with money or my life. It took every ounce of my strength to get the utterly wasted Wang Dateng out of the bar and into a nearby hotel. All the way there, the comments never stopped. Why is the male side character suddenly being so nice? Could he be planning to hurt Tang while he has the chance? Probably not. If he wanted to hurt Tang, he would not have saved him just now. Poor Tang. Because of the male side character, he fought with the female lead, came here alone to drink himself numb, and nearly got beaten up. The male side character definitely has bad intentions. Just wait. He is definitely plotting something. The comments speculated wildly, but when they saw me call Bai Ningbing over, they fell silent once more. I could not be bothered with them and calmly told Bai Ningbing, Mr. Wang drank a lot. Remember to give him some soup to sober him up later. Also, he seems to have misunderstood you and me. Make sure you explain it clearly to him. The comments multiplied the moment I finished speaking. Does the male side character love the female lead that much? He not only called the female lead here for Tang, but even asked her to clear up Tang's misunderstanding? Is he settling for second best? As long as he can stay by the female lead's side, will he do anything? That is so pathetic. I am starting to feel sorry for him. I was speechless at the comments' wild imagination when I heard Bai Ningbing ask, Fang Yuan, do you really like? She did not get to finish. Wang Dateng made a sound in his sleep, interrupting her. She hurried to check on Wang Dateng. There was nothing for me to do there, so I turned to leave. Then, as if remembering something, I turned back to remind Bai Ningbing, oh, do not forget tomorrow's family banquet. I thought Bai Ningbing was too busy caring for Wang Dateng to answer me, yet she actually came over to me. Looking at me with remarkably gentle eyes, she said softly, do not worry. I will attend the banquet. This time, I will not put you in a difficult position again. Looking into Bai Ningbing's eyes, I felt a chill crawl over my skin. Even the comments began voicing doubts. Wait. Why do I feel like there is something off about the female lead's look? Same, something feels off to me too. Could it be? No, it cannot be. The female lead can only belong to Tang. I did not dare linger. Rubbing my arms, I turned and headed for the hotel elevator. To my surprise, I ran into Xinci in the elevator. She wore a sharply tailored suit and rimless glasses. She looked nothing like the sweet, clingy woman she was around me. When I saw her, I smiled instinctively. Then I realized we were at a hotel. I hurriedly asked, Xinci, what are you doing at a hotel? Xinci did not answer directly. She merely countered calmly, what do you think? It suddenly occurred to me that Xinci might have other clients besides me. A little upset, I pulled her straight into my arms. I will not allow it. No matter how much anyone else offers, I will pay double. Xinci brushed the top of her head against my chin. Amused, she said, are you getting the wrong idea? Before I could answer, she rose onto her toes and sealed my lips with a kiss. Xinci's kiss gave me not even a moment to catch my breath. When I went to the Yuan family banquet the next day, my legs were still a little weak. I had barely found a sofa and sat down when Bai Ningbing approached with a cold expression. She seized my wrist. Fang Yuan, I thought you were a good man. I never imagined you hid yourself so well. You deliberately acted like you were backing off to draw me in, and even hired people to attack aiding at the bar. Was that not all to win my love? Let me tell you this, no matter how well you pretend, aiding is the only one I love. I pulled my wrist free. Frowning, I asked what she was talking about. I was completely confused. When I looked up again, I met Wang Dateng's smug gaze behind her. The comments split into two camps. Some praised Wang Dateng for using whatever means necessary to protect his love, cursed him for falsely accusing the man who had just saved him. His character is completely ruined. That was when I realized it. Those two thugs at the bar last night who picked a fight with Wang Dateng. Wang Dateng had made it look as if I had sent them. Bai Ningbing had even become convinced that all my previous efforts to keep my distance were just a calculated retreat. I swear to God, I did no such thing. Who you love has nothing to do with me. I have never tried to win your love either. In fact, Ever since you sent that woman to me, I barely have the energy to keep up with her. How could I have time to worry about anyone else? I thought that after explaining this much, Ningbing would believe me. At least a little. But the moment I said that, the banquet hall suddenly fell silent. Wang Dateng's eyes went wide. Even the comments stopped. Ningbing stood frozen for a long moment before gritting out, "What do you mean? The woman I sent you. She is the live-in housekeeper I arranged for you." Question marks instantly flooded the screen. Did the male side character just cheat on the female lead? So he never liked the female lead at all, and he got together with his housekeeper? Help. This plot has completely derailed. I was stunned too. On our wedding day, Ningbing pointed grandly and said she could not satisfy me, but she would not leave me wanting either. I looked where she pointed, walked right past the round-faced woman in black-rimmed glasses, and took Shang Xinci, sitting on the sofa with her legs crossed, home with me. Who would have thought I had truly taken the wrong woman? As I was thinking that, Shang Xinci, dressed in a suit, was already walking toward us. "Are you sure a woman who looks like that is only a housekeeper?" Ningbing looked in the direction I indicated. Her expression changed completely. "Miss Shang." Her gaze darted between Shang Xinci and me. Then she asked whether the woman I met was Miss Shang. The comments recognized her at once. So, Shang Xinci was the one who later became the obstacle to Ningbing's business empire. The mysterious female villain. At 20, she had already secured her place as head of the Shang group. Over the next few years, she turned it into an industry leader. Only then did I connect all the earlier things that had felt off. No wonder, when I first brought Shang Xinci home, she had looked at me so strangely. No wonder when Ningbing was around, she never agreed to show herself. She said she had already compromised so much. She truly had compromised so much. I did not know what to say. All I could do was sigh to myself. "Fang Yuan, you have it damn good." If Ningbing's face had not already darkened, I would have given myself a thumbs up. The butler came over just in time and called Ningbing away. Wang Dateng snorted coldly and followed her. After walking a few steps, Ningbing turned back and told me we would have a proper talk later. After they left, I looked awkwardly at Shang Xinci. "I actually only just learned who you really are." "I know." Shang Xinci told me that when I offered double the price last night, she guessed I had not figured out her identity. That was why she came to the banquet today. She walked toward me one step at a time. At first, I thought you only wanted to sleep with me without taking responsibility, then leave once you had your fun. But since you did not even know who I was, I needed to show myself and fight openly for a chance to compete with Ningbing. "Fang Yuan, if I can bring the He family more value, then your partnership with Ningbing. Could you choose me instead of her?" she asked with complete sincerity, her voice hiding a trace of barely noticeable unease. The hope in her eyes made my heart skip a beat. I was just about to answer when Ningbing's icy voice came from behind me. "Miss Shang, have some self-respect." At some point, she had turned back, but Wang Dateng had not followed her. "Fang Yuan is my legal husband. Please stay away from my husband." Shang Xinci did not move an inch. "But these past few days, I have been the one keeping Fang Yuan company. You say he is your legal husband, but where have you been?" Seeing the surrounding guests starting to notice, Ningbing suppressed her fury and grabbed my hand to leave. "Some senior figures in the industry want to see you. For the sake of the He and Wen family's partnership." I did not expose her lie. As we passed Shang Xinci, I gave her a smile. Ningbing caught it from the corner of her eye and pulled me along faster. But after dragging me into the small garden, she did not mention any senior figures at all. She only asked what I thought about today. When I said nothing, she spoke first. "As long as you cut things off with Shang Xinci, I can pretend none of this happened. You will still be my husband. The He and Wen families will still be each other's most important partners. And if you truly have needs, I could accommodate you." That previous medical report was actually fake. After a moment of silence, I only asked, "Why did you give me a fake report in the first place?" Ningbing opened her mouth, but could not answer. So I answered for her. "Because of Wang Dateng. You wanted to save yourself for him, but you were afraid I would pester you. That is why you came up with this plan. If that is the case, why are you saying this now? Are you no longer thinking about Mr. Wang?" Ningbing actually said that as long as I stopped causing trouble for Wang Dateng, she could balance the two of us. "Fang Yuan, I think I may have started to like you." The comments went completely wild, but her words only sounded like a favor bestowed upon me. Was she, like the comments, convinced I had long been hopelessly in love with her? I could not be bothered to dance around it anymore. "But I do not like you, and I do not need love that is shared with someone else. You feel uncomfortable now, only because you think something that belonged to you was taken away. But I am not an object, and I certainly do not belong to you. You and I, the He family and the Wen family, have only ever been bound by a marriage alliance for business. It is mutually beneficial. If you do not want to continue our partnership, we can cancel this marriage alliance. I, Fang Yuan, do not lack business partners." Ningbing stood there stunned. For the first time, the comments praised me for seeing clearly. I smiled. Then I turned, and left. No one noticed Wang Dateng in the corner of the garden, staring venomously at my retreating back. Before leaving the banquet, I told the driver to take me back to the villa I lived in before we got married. But when I opened the car door, Shang Xinci was sitting in the back seat. Her legs were crossed, and her suit collar hung slightly open. She reclined lazily against the back seat, as though she had calculated that I would get in. The driver looked troubled. "Sir, this lady said she knows you and insisted on getting in." I did not blame him. I got in and raised a brow at Shang Xinci. She suddenly took my hand and gave it a little shake. Her voice was sweetly coaxing. "If you are moving, you will take me with you, right?" How could anyone resist that? I nodded. That night, she asked again whether I had decided who to choose. "If you choose me, I can give the He family more projects. I can transfer my company and shares to you too. Then you will have both the money and the woman." I would be lying if I said I was not tempted. On one side were the projects Shang Xinci could deliver immediately, along with her company and shares. On the other was the business empire by Ningbing might build in the future, according to the comments. Both sides had their advantages. I truly could not decide right away. But the comments said Bai Ningbing would build a business empire someday. If I partnered with the Bai family, I could ride that wave as well. Shang Xinci saw my hesitation and did not pressure me. "It is all right. Take your time. I will show you my sincerity." The next day, I could not get out of bed again. Half asleep, I heard arguing downstairs. I threw on some clothes and went to the stairs, only to find the unwelcome visitor was Bai Ningbing. While Shang Xinci was making breakfast downstairs, Bai Ningbing suddenly arrived. The moment she entered, she demanded to know why Shang Xinci was here. Shang Xinci gave a soft laugh. "Is it not obvious?" Bai Ningbing's face turned livid with rage. "Fang Yuan is my legal husband. For now, the future is another matter." Shang Xinci tugged at her collar, revealing the marks from last night. After all, last night, I showed Fang Yuan what I am worth. The comments went wild with laughter. Everyone said Shang Xinci knew exactly how to provoke someone. Bai Ningbing's face went dark. Others admitted they had come to watch the leads fall in love, but now only wanted to watch this love triangle explode. Bai Ningbing started to leave, then stopped to tell me. "Last night, you said my feelings were only the discomfort of losing control of something I considered mine. I will prove that is not true. And I know you only said you do not like me out of anger. You are only being stubborn because you are jealous of aiding. I will not hold it against you." With that, she left me standing there. How could this woman invent so much in her head? Fortunately, Shang Xinci's breakfast smelled wonderful. I quickly put the matter out of my mind. Whatever Bai Ningbing's so-called actions were, I had not seen them. But the breakfast Shang Xinci made herself was right in front of me. After breakfast, I invited Xiao Huo to the racetrack. Last time, I had dragged him to a bar for advice. But to save Wang Dateng, I had left him hanging. This time, I arranged an outing to apologize. Xiao Huo was not upset. He only laughed that I finally remembered my brother. He held no resentment at all, chatting and laughing with me all the way. This race had originally been just an unexpected detour in our day. Once we changed into racing suits and left the locker room, we ran into Wang Dateng again. The moment he saw me, he could no longer hide his hostility. The midsummer wind was scorching, and engines roared around the track. He wore a white racing suit. He still looked refined and spotless, but the instant his gaze landed on me, his hostility was impossible to conceal. "Fang Yuan, dare to race me? The loser stays away from Ningbing forever." The comments instantly became excited. They said many prominent figures in racing had praised Wang Dateng's talent. He wanted to crush me head-on, to protect his love. Patiently, I explained again. I do not like Bai Ningbing. The marriage alliance is only for our family's partnership. Even without this race, I would not pursue her. Wang Dateng simply assumed I was afraid to lose. I raised a brow. The number of times I had been speechless today kept climbing. If I refused after saying all that, it would seem as though I truly feared him. I had come here to have fun anyway. One race with him would not hurt. Fine. I will race you. The two race cars soon pulled up at the starting line. The staff quickly took their positions. The engines made our chests tremble. The modified cars waited side by side beneath the starting lights. All eyes turned to the track. The light flashed, and Wang Dateng launched ahead. His start and cornering were indeed steady. The comments cheered along. They were all waiting to see me get crushed. The spectators outside the track also gasped at his smooth driving. He aggressively blocked me the entire way, sealing off every possible passing lane. He clearly believed I could never catch up. But to me, this was child's play. I had been racing since I was 5. I had won plenty of trophies at home and abroad. I had even taken championship trophies. In professional races, Wang Dateng's amateur skill was nowhere near enough to rattle me. After trailing him to learn his lines, I finally accelerated. He blocked aggressively through every turn, which exposed his driving patterns completely. Once I had figured out his route, it was too late for him to stop me. With 2 daring overtakes at the limit, I took first place. Wang Dateng was left behind. The comments were stunned. Those calling him a sure winner were suddenly full of question marks. Another group stared at my racing suit and sighed. They could not tell who had gotten the better deal, me or Shang Xinci. Wang Dateng tried again and again to pass me, but could not even reach my rear bumper. The harder he chased, the more frantic he became. Yet I kept a steady grip on the wheel, effortlessly shutting down every attempt. The rest of the race became my personal showcase. After lapping him twice, his face was black as thunder. Underestimating an opponent is always the deadliest habit on a track. But Wang Dateng clearly had no intention of reflecting. He grew more frantic each time. His eyes held nothing but resentment and rage. At the final turn, I accelerated normally for the finish, but his car suddenly sped up, charging straight into the side of my car. It was obviously deliberate. I immediately turned the wheel and tapped the brakes. My car slid along the curve. The shriek of tires made my eardrums ache. Dust billowed from the track. The car drifted with precision, barely evading his collision path. My car only swayed slightly, before quickly steadying. But Wang Dateng missed his hit, and his speed threw him off balance. His entire car lost control and rolled over on the track. It gouged a long trail across the ground. He was injured as well. A race was a race, but when something truly went wrong, I could not just stand by. I got out immediately to check on him and called an ambulance. Then I went to the hospital myself. On the way, the comments were already in an uproar. Some condemned Wang Dateng for framing me at the bar, then deliberately crashing into me on the track. His image was completely shattered. Others still defended him, saying he's simply loved by Ningbing too much. There was nothing wrong with being a little extreme. The two sides argued more fiercely, and before long, more than half the comments visibly disappeared. It seemed even many people who had favored Wang Dateng could not accept him crashing because he could not handle losing. I did not bother reading them. I only notified by Ningbing. When she arrived at the hospital, she saw Wang Dateng being wheeled into surgery. I had just finished the paperwork. Wang Dateng lay on the gurney, his eyes filling with grievance the moment he saw by Ningbing. Wang Dateng was deathly pale. Seeing her, he spoke weakly. Ningbing, do not blame Fang Yuan for crashing into me. I was careless. It has nothing to do with him. It sounded generous, but every word pinned the blame on me. The operating room doors had barely closed when Ningbing turned on me furiously. Fang Yuan, I said I would balance things between you and Dateng. Why do you keep targeting him? Was setting him up at the bar not enough? Now you deliberately crashed into him too. I truly wanted to ask, with such blind, irrational thinking, could she really build the business empire the comments predicted? I explained everything from the beginning. If I truly had targeted him, why would I save him and bring him to the hospital? Why would I notify you if it was not you? Are you saying Dateng deliberately crashed and hurt himself just to frame you? The comments guessed I would be heartbroken next. Stop explaining and let her mistreat me. It made me want to laugh. I am not a masochist. Since talking was pointless, I would let the evidence speak. I called the police directly. You did something wrong, and you still have the nerve to call the police. The comments were shocked that I did not follow the usual script, but some immediately applauded. If you are falsely accused, gather evidence. That is what a normal person does. Not everyone can keep dragging things out through misunderstandings. What is wrong with calling the police? Did no one teach you as a child to go to the police when you are in trouble? I may have been set up in a deliberate crash. I'm calling the police to collect evidence. What is the problem with that? She was left speechless. Just then, the operating room doors opened. The doctor came out and asked the family to sign the consent form. But when Ningbing heard that Wang Dateng had lost blood, she immediately grabbed my wrist. Doctor, take his blood. Take as much as you need, as long as it saves Dateng. She even believed Wang Dateng's injuries were my fault. So of course I should donate blood. She looked so entitled, as though the moment she asked, my blood should be freely taken to compensate Wang Dateng. I pulled my wrist free. I truly could not understand her logic. Her logic was so infuriating. I actually laughed. Wang Dateng does not have a rare blood type. Do you think the hospital blood bank is just for decoration? The doctor nodded as well. The patient has a common blood type, and the blood bank has ample supply. This gentleman does not need to donate blood. I only came out to inform the family to sign the form. That supposedly classic emergency blood transfusion scene was dismantled by the doctor into sentences. The comments laughed, while marveling that this development was remarkably sensible. The corridor fell silent at once. The urgency on Ningbing's face froze. She could only lower her head and take the form. The doctor took back the signed consent form and turned back into the operating room. The corridor, which had been so chaotic moments ago, fell quiet again. The comments could not stop laughing. After signing, she seemed to want to apologize to me, but could not bring herself to swallow her pride. Her lips moved several times, but in the end, she could not say a word. I did not care at all. If I had not needed to wait for the police to gather evidence, I would not have stayed another second. Before long, the police arrived. They got there quickly, ready to investigate both incidents at once. Shang Xinci came with them as well. She hurried over to me and checked me over from head to toe. Only after confirming I was unhurt did she breathe a sigh of relief. Ningbing stood nearby, completely frozen. Only then did she realize that since the accident, Wang Dateng had been all she could think about. She had never once asked whether I was hurt. Even the comments belatedly realized they had been too busy enjoying the spectacle, never considering that I might have been injured in the crash too. After a long while, she awkwardly asked, "Fang Yuan, are you all right? Do not worry about me. Deal with the important matter first." I gave the police the full account of what happened at the bar and racetrack. I told them everything, from the thugs appearing and Wang Dateng playing the victim, to his deliberate crash at the racetrack. I laid out every detail. Surveillance footage from both places was quickly retrieved. The footage was crystal clear. I had not arranged for the thugs at the bar. At the racetrack, Wang Dateng had been the one to crash into me. In both incidents, I had done nothing wrong from beginning to end. This time, Ningbing could no longer take Wang Dateng's word alone and condemn me. With both complete recordings before us, no one had room to keep making excuses. I never thought Aiden would do this. He used to be so kind. Spare me the excuses. If you want to apologize, give the Fang family 5 percentage points of the profits from our joint project. 5 percentage points was not an outrageous demand. She could afford it. I know my attitude just now hurt you, but you do not need to pretend you do not like me because of it, or say such cold, distancing things. It made me want to laugh. No matter what I said, she always imagined it meant I loved her, and was only drawing boundaries because I was angry. Miss Bai, this morning you said you would prove your feelings. Why are you unwilling to part with a mere 5 percentage points now? So, your love was only empty words. Ningbing was rendered speechless. In the end, she agreed through gritted teeth. For the follow-up, my executive assistant will coordinate with the Fang group. Those 5 percentage points were the price she had to pay for her repeated misjudgments and damage to our partnership. Shang Xinci took hold of my wrist and took me for an examination. Only after the doctor confirmed I was fine was she finally at ease. After returning to the villa, I felt as though I had forgotten something. It was not until I was getting ready for bed that night I suddenly sat upright. Damn it, I left Xiaohuo at the racetrack again. After the racetrack incident, I did not want to see anyone from the Bai family for a long time. But Ningbing was convinced she had broken my heart. Besides the 5 percentage points, she came to my door every day, bringing hand-picked flowers and meals she had cooked herself. She kept up these visits without fail day after day. Every time, her face was full of expectation. She waited for me to understand her so-called feelings through those gifts. She was clearly copying the way Wang Dateng had once wooed her. The comments could only shake their heads. She had never known anything truly good, yet she was now trying to win me over with the very same things. Even the comments were embarrassed for her. Shang Xinci did not hold back. Has the Bai family gone bankrupt? Why do you keep bringing cheap, self-congratulatory things every day? Ningbing retorted angrily. It is the thought that counts. Money cannot buy it. Fang Yuan, you understand how I feel, do you not? I was only irritated. I am busy. Do not come bothering me unless it is important. Before the door closed, Shang Xinci even waved at her. Ningbing's face went white with anger. Yet through the closed door, she still insisted that Shang Xinci had merely bewitched me, making me blind to my own heart. Ningbing shouted outside. She said Shang Xinci had clouded my judgment, but I would soon come to my senses and realize she was the one who could make me happy. Her idea of making me come to my senses was to bring me the jade pendant she had given Wang Dateng at the auction and give it to me. Fang Yuan, I know you like me back then, so you would not put me in a difficult position. You even gave Aiden the jade pendant that resembled your mother's keepsake. Now I am giving it to you. I hope it awakens your love for me. I held back and held back, but finally could not anymore. Has it ever occurred to you that my mother's keepsake was already in my possession? I did not need this similar jade pendant, so I casually let Mr. Wang have it. What does that have to do with liking you? If it truly had been something my mother left behind, how could I have let it be sold at auction, then wait for someone else to buy it and give it to me? Ningbing froze, and the comments finally understood as well. But after a brief moment of disappointment, she decided I was too angry to admit what I had done before. I truly had no answer for her talent for imagining things. Even the comments had figured it out. A keepsake left by one's mother should have been safely kept in my hands. Those scenes of people fighting viciously over a similar jade pendant never made sense to begin with. Unable to deal with her, I simply went on a business trip to our overseas branch. Since she took every explanation as stubborn denial, I would keep my distance from her for now, so I would not have to keep hearing her fantasies every day. The moment I returned, My executive assistant told me. Young Master Fang, the project between our two companies has run into trouble. I did not even have time to rest properly. Before taking the documents and heading straight to the bike group, I rushed to the bike group. The moment I reached the elevators, I ran into Wang Dateng. He was dressed in clean clothes, carrying a meal he had made for Ningbing. When he saw me in a suit, holding documents at the bike group, he was first incredulous, then immediately became wary. Seeing the documents in my hand, he snatched them away and flipped through several pages. I knew Ningbing had not been seeing me lately, because you were plotting behind my back. He had come to bring Ningbing food and win her over. But after seeing me at the bike group, he believed he had finally found the real reason Ningbing had been neglecting him. You say, the arranged marriage is only for business, yet you neglect your own company and spend all day at the bike group. I explained that I had just returned to the country and was here to handle the project, but Wang Dateng sneered. He said I only relied on the Fang and my family's partnership and my family background to become Ningbing's husband. In his eyes, Ningbing had started ignoring him after the racetrack incident, and it had nothing to do with his repeated lies or the people he hurt. It was all because I had come to steal her away again. Some comments joined him in calling me manipulative. My temples throbbed. I pulled the documents from his hands and called Ningbing on the spot. You have 2 minutes to get here and deal with Wang Dateng. Otherwise, handle this crisis yourself. On the other end of the call, Ningbing realized Wang Dateng was at the company. She immediately asked where we were and said she was on her way. Ningbing arrived in under 2 minutes. Impatiently, she asked Wang Dateng what he had done this time. Wang Dateng had not expected her to accuse him right away. Aggrieved, he immediately held out the meal he had made. Ningbing, you've changed. You said the arranged marriage was fake, and that I was your true love. Now you're treating me like this for someone else. By the end, he actually grabbed a flower pot beside him and hurled it at me. He called me trash for ruining someone else's relationship and asked why I did not just die. I dodged in time, and the flower pot shattered on the floor. The floor was a mess, and Ningbing finally saw clearly that his loss of control went far beyond verbal argument. Ningbing's expression darkened instantly. Wang Dateng, aren't you the one who's changed? You lied at the bar to frame Fang Yuan, then deliberately rammed him at the racetrack. Wasn't that all you're doing? I said you were my true love, but I never thought you would become this way. When Wang Dateng saw that the truth was out, his face went pale. Then he gave a bitter smile. Yes, I did it all. But wasn't I only doing it to keep you? If you had not started paying attention to Fang Yuan first, would I have ended up like this? Everything he had done, he blamed on Ningbing changing first. He had chosen to frame people and hurt them, yet wore the heartbroken look of someone betrayed. The comments could only sigh. Some still pitied him even now, blaming his loss of control on Ningbing too. But more people were simply left speechless. The pair once praised as having a love for the ages had become nothing but a complete mess. Others were still debating whether Wang Dateng had changed on his own, or Ningbing had looked elsewhere first. Ningbing rubbed her brow. She told her assistant to take Wang Dateng away first, and not let him return to the company for the time being. She was too exhausted to argue any further. She only wanted her assistant to remove him as quickly as possible. As Wang Dateng was dragged away, he kept shouting, "So, between him and me, you chose him? Fang Yuan, do not think you've won. This is not over." I could not be bothered with him and focused on the project. After several sleepless nights, the crisis was finally resolved. Ningbing clearly feared I might run into Wang Dateng again during the project. She specifically had her assistant keep watch at the company and bar him from returning. Once the final issue was resolved, I was so tired I could barely keep my eyes open. The moment I got back to the villa, I collapsed into bed. I do not know how long it was before a frantic doorbell woke me. I thought Ningbing had come again. Annoyed, I just wanted to send her away. But as soon as I opened the door, everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, Wang Dateng and I were tied up on a yacht. I first looked at the comments around him. This time, few people were still willing to excuse him. The comments said he had gone insane. He had actually hired someone to kidnap both himself and me, just to force Ningbing to face her feelings. From framing me at the bar to crashing into me at the racetrack, some had once used love to justify him. But arranging a kidnapping himself was something far more people could not accept. Some even admitted for the first time that I, the supporting male lead, was more likable than him. Yet Wang Dateng was still immersed in his plan. Fang Yuan, even if Ningbing has started seeing you differently, when she truly has to choose between the two of us, she will still choose me. What we have shared for over a decade is beyond anything you can match. I could not even be bothered to answer him. While he fantasized about Ningbing coming to rescue her hero, I secretly pressed the emergency device I carried. Ningbing arrived soon after. She immediately offered the kidnapper 100 million yuan to release us both. The kidnapper took the money, but would only let her save one of us. He wanted more than money. He wanted to watch someone suffer unbearable anguish. The other man would be pushed into the sea. Whether he survived would be up to fate. Ningbing's gaze moved back and forth between Wang Dateng and me. After hesitating for a long time, She gritted her teeth and said, I choose Wang Dateng. Fang Yuan, I am sorry. You are stronger than 18. Even if you stay in the water a little longer, you should be fine. The comments completely lost it. She claimed to like me, but when it came time to choose, I was still the one she sacrificed. Some finally realized they've found it romantic when Bai Ningbing hurt me for Wang Dateng, only because they were not the ones paying the price. Others immediately suggested that Shang Xinci replace Bai Ningbing as the new female lead. For the first time, almost every comment was on Shang Xinqi's and my side. Once Wang Dateng was untied, he rushed back to Bai Ningbing and embraced her. He looked at me as if flaunting his victory. He seemed convinced that Bai Ningbing's choice proved their decade-long bond outweighed everything. The kidnapper reached to push me overboard, but the comments knew that I could not swim at all. Pushing me into such deep water was no different from murder. Yet Bai Ningbing merely stood by and watched. She did nothing. I dodged sideways, and he lost his balance instead. Half his body plunged into the sea. He barely managed to climb back up, then lunged at me in furious humiliation. Just then, police sirens sounded in the distance. He reached for my throat, but it was too late. My distress signal had already transmitted our location. Shang Xinci arrived with the police. The kidnapper was quickly subdued. Shang Xinci untied me, then threw herself into my arms, her eyes red. Thank goodness you are all right. I stroked her head. I am sorry I worried you. Only after I was truly untied did the tension in Shang Xinqi's eyes finally ease a little. Bai Ningbing stood beside us, watching Shang Xinci hold me. Her face was dark, but she could not say a word. After all, she was the one who had just abandoned me. She had no standing to blame anyone now. After comforting Shang Xinci, I walked up to Bai Ningbing. Let us finalize the divorce another day. I agreed to the arranged marriage in the first place, because the comments said she would someday build a business empire. But what she had now made it impossible for me to believe she was capable of that. Today, she sacrificed me for Wang Dateng. Tomorrow, she might sacrifice the Fang family for something else. A partnership like this is not worth having. I have no interest in making a deal with a predator. Since my partner could no longer be trusted, the best course was to cut my losses promptly. When Wang Dateng heard me, his eyes lit up at once. But Bai Ningbing immediately refused. I will not agree. Fang Yuan, if you are angry over my choice just now, I can explain. I am not angry. In fact, none of your choices can stir any emotion in me. This was not spite, nor was I waiting for her to win me back. I married you solely for our partnership. Now, your actions have forced me to reassess whether this partnership is necessary. As for your refusal to divorce, I glanced at Wang Dateng. Soon, it will no longer be yours to decide. I ignored them after that. Bai Ningbing quickly understood what I meant. The comments understood the implication as well. If I did not strike back after being deliberately kidnapped, I would be unworthy of being the Fang family's heir. The police quickly discovered that Wang Dateng had hired the kidnapper. Once the news spread, the Bai family's reputation suffered. Their stock fell, and several joint projects ran into trouble one after another. People online quickly uncovered Wang Dateng's relationship with Bai Ningbing. The kidnapping was no longer Wang Dateng's scandal alone. The Bai family was dragged into the public backlash as well. Naturally, I had a hand in it. Shang Xinci gave it a push too, with crises bearing down from every side. Bai Ningbing could not hold on any longer. Unable to endure it, Bai Ningbing could only come and plead with me. Her reputation, stock, and projects were all damaged at once. She had no room left to keep holding out. I can back off, but I have two conditions. First, we divorce. Second, Wang Dateng harmed me. He must face the punishment he deserves. The Bai family cannot protect him, whether for the Bai family's reputation or because of what he has already done. No one could cover for him this time. Bai Ningbing agreed with a bitter smile. She said Wang Dateng was no longer the clean, kind young man she remembered. The Bai family would not protect him again. From the first lie he told at the bar, he had gradually become someone she no longer recognized. Looking back now, the young man who had insisted on repaying the Bai family for a little help was long gone. But when it came to divorce, she still asked hesitantly, do we have to divorce? No. Shang Xinci answered her. She walked to my side and naturally linked her arm through mine. Miss Bai, the day you could not see things clearly and casually presumed Fang Yuan's feelings, you were already out of the running. As for your feelings for him, compared to mine, they are not worth mentioning. Bai Ningbing looked at us and did not argue again. The divorce was finalized quickly. The Fang and Bai families gradually ended their partnership as well. Shang Xinci stood openly at my side. The comments started rooting for us again. They even came up with a special name for us. I thought I would never see Bai Ningbing or the comments again. But only days after the divorce, I had just finalized a new project with Shang Xinci when a message from Bai Ningbing appeared on my phone. Fang Yuan, Wang Dateng has escaped from prison. My heart sank. At almost the same time, Shang Xinqi's executive assistant called as well. President Fang, something is wrong. President Shang has been kidnapped. I gripped my phone and told the assistant to explain everything. My fingers suddenly tightened. My voice turned cold. The executive assistant sounded frantic over the phone. Xinci had arrived at work as usual that morning, but after her car entered the underground garage, she never came upstairs. Sensing something was wrong, the assistant immediately went down to check. All she saw was Xinci's bag on the floor, its contents scattered everywhere. The assistant immediately checked the garage surveillance footage. She saw a man dressed in black knock Xinci unconscious and take her away. After hearing that, I immediately connected the man in black with Wang Dateng's prison escape. I forced down the rage and panic inside me. I contacted the police at once and reported every detail of Xinci's disappearance. After that, I immediately drove to Ningbing. For one thing, she had been the first to learn Wang Dateng had escaped. She had to know more details. For another, the comments around her might give me more clues. It was also my fastest way to find Xinci. When she saw me, Ningbing took the initiative to explain what happened. This morning, I received a message from an unknown number. It said, "As long as I eliminate every variable, you will definitely come back to me." Though the number was unfamiliar, I recognized Wang Dateng from the wording. I had a terrible feeling. After I called the police station, I confirmed that he really had escaped prison. I thought you were the variable he meant, so I notified you immediately. She looked up at me, her face filled with worry. "You came to see me. Has he already done something?" Without preamble, I told her grimly. Xinci has been kidnapped by him. The moment I said it, I looked directly at the dense comments surrounding her. Sure enough, the comments had exploded. Someone cried out. The originally devoted male lead was not only thrown in prison, he has now become an escaped kidnapper too. His whole character is completely shattered. Others simply cursed Wang Dateng for going completely insane. Still others sighed. A perfectly good romance has turned into a crime story. I quickly scanned the chaotic stream of text. My gaze suddenly fixed on a white message that flashed past. My eyes turned sharp at once. Wang Dateng took her to an abandoned tempered glass factory in the southern outskirts. While the other comments still debated the plot, I did not hesitate again. I turned and left. Ningbing immediately hurried after me. On the way, I reported the address again. Once the police had the exact location, they immediately rushed to the tempered glass factory as well. I drove there at full speed. Ningbing arrived close behind me. From a distance, a slender figure was tightly bound to a chair in the center. Her mouth was gagged with cloth. It was Xinci. The entire factory complex had been abandoned for years. Weeds grew wild all around it. The air reeked of rust and dust. Dead silence surrounded us. I suppressed my fury and did not argue with Wang Dateng first. I only asked his terms for letting her go. Dressed in black, Wang Dateng stood before her with a sinister expression. Hearing our footsteps, he slowly turned. He looked at Ningbing first, then turned his gaze on me. When he looked at Ningbing, a flicker of longing passed through his eyes. But when he faced me again, that feeling instantly became cold malice and obsession. "Fang Yuan, you got here rather quickly." I stared him down, forcing back the raging anger inside me. "What will it take for you to let her go?" "Simple. You take her place." He spoke with a soft laugh, his eyes vicious and obsessive. He emphasized every word. Ningbing and I spoke at the same time. "No. Fine. I will take her place." Ningbing's objection did not make me hesitate. Xinci was in Wang Dateng's hands. Rather than wait somewhere safe, I knew exactly what I had to do. I glanced sideways. She looked deeply anxious. "Wang Dateng is capable of anything now. It is too dangerous. You cannot go. It is dangerous." Which is exactly why I cannot let Xinci remain in his hands. For once, the comments did not tell me to stay out of trouble. Someone said my words were what a real man would say. Others said this was what mutual devotion truly looked like. Wang Dateng sneered mockingly. I ignored him. I gave the panic-stricken Xinci a reassuring look. "Tell me, how do we make the exchange?" Wang Dateng coldly stated his terms. "Throw away every defensive device and communication tool on you. Then walk over to me. Once I have tied you up, I will naturally let Xinci leave." I did not hesitate for an instant. With swift, decisive movements, I dropped all my defensive devices and communication tools. Then I steadily walked toward him. The distance between us closed. Wang Dateng's cold smile deepened. The madness in his eyes nearly overflowed. The comments suddenly erupted with frantic warnings. "You and Xinci are both variables. He never intended to let either of you go. Watch out, he is about to attack." When I was only half a step from Wang Dateng, he flicked his wrist. He suddenly produced a dagger and stabbed at my heart. The smile vanished from his face. Only bone-deep ruthlessness remained in his eyes. The gleaming blade drove straight for my vital point. The comments erupted in shock. Someone said that stab after his escape finally came. Others felt it was no surprise that Wang Dateng intended to kill. At that critical moment, a figure suddenly lunged out from beside me. It was Ningbing. Without regard for herself, She threw herself in front of me. She took the stab from me. The dagger plunged into her back. Blood quickly soaked through her pale clothes. It was horrifying to watch. Wang Dateng was clearly stunned for a moment. Ningbing, at last. The madness in his eyes cracked for a moment. The instant he said, Ningbing, a dull roar sounded from deep inside the factory. Besides the kidnapping, he had actually planted explosives in advance. A deafening explosion tore through the air. Fire and dust swept through the entire factory. My pupils contracted sharply. A searing blast wave swept over us. Rubble kept crashing down around me. I had no time to think of anything else. I turned and threw myself over Shang Xinci. I used my back to shield her from the blast and flying debris. There was only roaring in my ears. Rubble kept raining down. I could only use all my strength to protect her in my arms. Gradually, I could not hold on any longer. My consciousness slowly sank away. At the very last moment, I clearly heard police sirens wailing in the distance. When I woke again, I was already lying in a hospital. All I could do every day was stare boredly at the ward ceiling. Shang Xinci pushed open the door and came in. My eyes lit up as I looked at her. Did the doctor say I can leave the hospital? She shook her head. She helped me sit up. You were caught in an explosion. After all, you need to stay under observation for a few more days. I could only sigh. Then I went back to staring blankly at the white ceiling. No one expected that the severe, deliberate explosion would ultimately leave Shang Xinci unharmed. I suffered only scrapes. Bai Ningbing was the one seriously injured. At the final moment, she turned sideways to shield me. An object pierced her left eye. Both her left arm and left leg were shattered. She remained unconscious. I went to see her. Her entire body was tightly wrapped in bandages. Her thin body lay sunken into the hospital bed. Only a tiny rise showed beneath the blanket. For the first time, the comments fell collectively silent. I could not make sense of my own feelings either. They were like a tangled bundle of thread, impossible to sort out. Shang Xinci had clearly feared I might have a change of heart over Bai Ningbing. Ever since Bai Ningbing protected me at the end, she had become somewhat quiet. Whenever I mentioned the explosion or Bai Ningbing, she would find an excuse to leave. She only pretended that nothing had happened in front of me, but never agreed to discuss it directly. That day, she finally brought it up herself. For her to raise it herself like this, the explosion and Bai Ningbing, was truly unusual. I looked at her and asked, "Is there something you want to tell me?" She pressed her lips together and stayed silent for a long time. Then she nodded. Bai Ningbing has woken up. I looked away from the ceiling, then turned back to Shang Xinci. You went to see her? What did the doctor say? She took a deep breath. Then, with difficulty, she slowly told me the doctor's conclusion. The doctor said her left eye would retain only limited vision. She might even go blind when she is older. There was no chance of recovery. I felt sorry for her, but I had no further thoughts about it. I was grateful Bai Ningbing had protected me at the end, but I would not blame myself for her injuries, or guilt myself into anything because of them. Just as I was about to clear the air with Shang Xinci, someone suddenly knocked on the ward door. It was Bai Ningbing's mother. After briefly asking about my injuries, she got straight to the point. Ningbing was seriously hurt saving you. If you have any conscience, you should spend more time with her. Just spend time with her? Mrs. Bai had always put on the airs of an elder. I did not believe that was her only request. Sure enough, Mrs. Bai immediately added more. Although I have never thought much of you as a son-in-law, things are different now. Ningbing clearly likes you. Whatever happened between you before, she saved your life now. That should wipe the slate clean. You two should live well together from now on. The moment she finished speaking, the fruit knife in Shang Xinci's hand nearly sliced her finger. In that instant, even her breathing went quiet. I took the knife and apple from her. Then I firmly clasped her hand. It was as if Mrs. Bai had only just noticed her. And this is my fiancée, I answered without the slightest hesitation. Shang Xinci immediately squeezed my hand back. Her fingers clenched tightly around mine, as if only after hearing that title could she finally relax again. In that moment, she seemed to come back to life. Even her breathing gradually steadied. Mrs. Bai frowned deeply. She looked at me with obvious disapproval. I met her gaze openly. Then I continued. I agree to your first request. From now on, my fiancé and I will visit Bai Ningbing more often. As for building a life with her, as you can see, I already have a fiancé. That would be inappropriate. Mrs. Bai raised her voice at once. But Ningbing saved you. I lifted my gaze to hers. I know. To be honest, if she had not taken that blow from me, I would not have agreed today to keep visiting her. After all, the Fang and Bai family's partnership has ended. You may be an elder, but you have no authority over me. Still, I am not someone who repays kindness with ingratitude. I heard the Bai group has been interested in that development on the South City parcel. The Fang family is willing to give that project to you. That is what the Bai group truly wants right now. And it is enough to repay the debt I owe her. Mrs. Bai was momentarily speechless, unable to form a complete sentence. She nearly pointed at my nose and cursed me out. I knew perfectly well. Mrs. Bai was not here solely for her daughter today. The Bai family had been losing power lately. She also wanted to use the Fang family's influence to turn things around. She probably thought that after facing death and seeing Bai Ningbing so badly hurt, I would soften enough to let her manipulate me. But gratitude is one thing. Giving up the rest of my life is another. She had not expected me to draw such a clear line over this debt of gratitude. Still unwilling to accept it, she asked, "Do you not pity Ningbing at all?" "Of course I do." I smiled, but I pity myself more for suffering this undeserved disaster. After all, Wang Dateng was trouble she brought upon herself. I will be grateful that she saved me, but I will not overlook the source of all this trouble. And I certainly will not, because she saved my life, sacrifice my marriage as well. I might have accepted a marriage of convenience before for business, but now, I already have someone I love. Mrs. Bai ultimately did not get the answer she wanted. She stormed out in a rage. She did not stay another moment. I looked down at Xinci, who was still holding on to me. "Feeling better now?" She nodded, her eyes shining as she repeated, "You just called me your fiancé." Her heart was sweet as honey. For the past few days, she had been afraid that I might turn back because Bai Ningbing took that stab from me. So she did not dare mention the explosion or Bai Ningbing. She had even felt like a thief, wanting only a few more quiet days with me. And now, right in front of Mrs. Bai, I had told everyone that she was my fiancée. How could she not be thrilled? If she had not still feared the explosion had left me with lingering injuries, she probably would have thrown herself at me and kissed me. When Wang Dateng's sentence was handed down, Xinci and I were visiting Bai Ningbing for escaping prison, kidnapping, and deliberately causing an explosion. He was sentenced to life in prison. I glanced at Bai Ningbing. That was no light sentence. Clearly, the Bai family had put considerable effort into it. After Bai Ningbing heard this, she was silent for a long time before apologizing to me. Things have come to this, and ultimately, it is all my fault. I accepted her apology. Then I took Xinci's hand and left. The comments bid us farewell behind us, saying, "Though the plot is now completely different from the original novel, we are happy to see that you are no longer just a tool for the lead's romance, and have finally found your own path. That makes us truly happy." Some wished us a lifetime of happiness and success in our careers. Others said this book was probably truly ending. It was time for a proper goodbye. Fang Yuan, Xinci, you must be happy. I did not look back, but Xinci turned and waved. Then she closed Bai Ningbing's ward door behind us. After we left the hospital, both the comments and Bai Ningbing disappeared from my life. I heard the Bai family sent her abroad for treatment. She would probably never return. The business empire the comments spoke of never came to be. The He group under my management, however, kept rising. It soon became a force the industry could not ignore. But what drew even more attention than the He group's rise was the public announcement of Xinci's and my marriage. Not long after, Xinci and I held our wedding. The He and Shang families officially joined forces. Both companies entered a new era of opportunity. At the wedding, I watched Xinci in a white wedding dress walk toward me step by step. Suddenly, I was grateful that I had mistaken her for someone else back then. My heart was filled with emotion. Without that absurd misunderstanding, I might not have met her so soon. Then again, perhaps, fate would have overcome every obstacle to bring the right people together. For me, Xinci was the right person. After our marriage, we managed the companies together. We traveled together too. Every day was full and peaceful. In our third year, we had a daughter. Looking at that soft, cuddly little one, I felt as if my heart might melt. Xinci devoted more of her time to our child and entrusted the Shang group to me as well. Under my management, the two groups really did begin to resemble a business empire. At night, looking at my sleeping wife and daughter beside me, I could only think, this was the life I had truly wanted. When I was very young, I learned that I lived inside a book. Bai Ningbing from the Bai family next door was the heroine. I had never met the male lead. I only knew he was a poor student sponsored by the Bai family. I knew all this because I could see the comments around Bai Ningbing. From the day the Bai family moved into the villa next to mine, those words had always floated around Bai Ningbing. Some of those comments praised her without question. More of them wished for her to grow up quickly, so they could watch her fall into a sweet romance with the male lead, as though the value of her existence was nothing but loving the male lead. When I first discovered those words, I thought something was wrong with me. Only after trying everything did I reluctantly accept that this world might really be a book. The comments said Bai Ningbing would one day build a business empire, so I had considered getting close to her. One time, I dealt with several people causing her trouble. Just as I was about to use the chance to befriend her, the comments recognized me. I had deliberately seized that opportunity. I thought that after helping her solve her problem, I could at least become friends with her naturally. They said I was the female villain destined to hinder Bai Ningbing's business empire. In the end, I would be sent to prison. They were also shocked that I had appeared before Bai Ningbing so early. Some even suspected that I had arranged for those people to trouble Bai Ningbing. Before I could recover from the words female villain, Bai Ningbing was already frowning as she lectured me. Using violence to fight violence is wrong. I hope you reflect on your actions. That one sentence completely killed any thought of being her friend. A female villain. Is that it? Then I would be one. But I was an upstanding young woman. Of course, I did not want to end up in prison. Even so, I still wanted to change my fate. If the heroine was not an option, I would try the male lead instead. But whether I tried to sponsor Wang Dateng in advance or transfer him to a better school, something always stopped it for no reason. I even tried to stop him from transferring to Bai Ningbing's school. They were all such simple things. Yet some unseen force always pushed everything back into place. After one failure after another, I realized one thing. The plot was terribly difficult for me to change. I needed a true wild card. Knowing your ending, but being unable to change it no matter what, was almost enough to drive someone to despair. Fang Yuan was that wild card. When I attended Bai Ningbing's wedding, I saw the groom staring at the comments around her. Clearly, like me, he could see those words too, and his ending was even worse than mine. At least I would survive. But he would be caught between his wife and her lover, lose his family, and die in a car crash. He was clearly her legal husband. Yet, because he stood between his wife and her lover, he was treated as someone who deserved to be cast aside. I was lamenting his fate when he walked up to me with his phone in hand. Let us exchange contact information. I will send you the address of the marital home later. It was an incredibly forward thing to say, but every cell in my body screamed that something was very wrong. According to the comments, he was supposed to fall in love with Bai Ningbing at first sight, abandon all reason, and relentlessly pursue her. But Fang Yuan before me did not do that. He even brazenly wanted to send me his marital home's address, like a drowning person grasping at a lifeline. I nodded without hesitation. Everything that followed proved I had been right. Fang Yuan really could change the plot. The only thing I had not planned was falling for him, step by step. And he seemed to have fallen for me too. Bai Ningbing, the heroine who should have followed the plot most closely, also lost control because of Fang Yuan. She abandoned her role of loving only Wang Dateng. The comments kept screaming that both the plot and the characterizations have fallen apart. But I thought, good, let it fall apart. If the plot fell apart, I would not go to prison, and Fang Yuan would not have to die. Rather than letting everyone follow the book toward their predetermined endings, I would rather this story spiral completely out of control. I had helped push Wang Dateng into prison from behind the scenes, but I never expected that Bai Ningbing truly would not save him this time. But I never expected him to escape prison, much less kidnap me. Of course, I was terrified when I was taken to the tempered glass factory, but when I saw the comments around Wang Dateng, an idea suddenly came to me. It was my only chance to get around Wang Dateng and get the address to Fang Yuan. Before he could gag me, I asked the comments directly. Fang Yuan will definitely go to Bai Ningbing to find out what is happening. When he gets to Bai Ningbing, can you tell him the address where I am being held? A string of question marks floated across the comments. Is Shang Xinci talking to us? You and Fang Yuan can both see us? Then, they began wondering whether they had ever said anything cruel before. I nodded and told them, I have always been able to see you. In the end, they promised to deliver my message. That was how I waited for Fang Yuan. Later, when Wang Dateng was sentenced to life in prison, Fang Yuan and I happened to be at Bai Ningbing's ward to say goodbye. The comments gave us their final blessing. I turned back, waved, and said goodbye to them too. Be happy.